Jermaine, what a huge project. And I wonder, like, when you knew you was cast as this, and knowing how big of a physical this event this would have been without the pandemic that came in, like how was that processing that up and and down of like not having probably one of the hugest modern day premieres that would have happened. I can't imagine who wouldn't have been at the Coming to America 2 premiere.
Yeah. Why you gotta remind me I'm on my couch at my house? Why you gotta remind me, Jamal? Nah, but for real, like on some real, like my friend Rel Battle came to my house, and he told me, "Man, I'm sorry for you, man. I feel sorry." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "Cause you're not doing the red carpet or the glitz and the glammy, you know." And I'm like, "Oh, word." And look, man, it is what it is. Number one, things happen for a reason. I can't control what's going on, so I'm not gonna try to stress out about that. But number two, I think it's a positive that people, to me, the movie's coming out. Like that's important. The movie is coming out, right? And
Yeah,
what's going to happen is that people get to watch that in the comfort of their own homes they've been in for a year almost, right? And they get to share this. Generations get to share this with their families. Like there were people who watched this in '88, the original in '88. They have kids now or grandkids right now. You know, some people aren't
yeah,
even here anymore. And I think people are going to share what 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 they loved about the first coming to America and where they were and how they were feeling, what they were going through in the first coming to America. I think people need those conversations. Like I think families like need to connect with that. Like I think that's beautiful. That's awesome. And I'm proud to be part of like a sequel that's taking place 32 years later because I think this is the movie that people need right now, man. Like for real, like with everything going on, or everything going on, I think people are gonna really want to see this. As much as I want this to be in theaters, I grew up in a movie theater. Like I love movie theaters. I think
yeah,
this movie was delayed to the right time, period. Because we
yeah.
all kind of need a laugh right now. We all need a family reunion we can appreciate. We all need just some like nostalgia we can like lean on real quick and just kind of be like, ah. And when I watched Coming to America, the sequel, I saw it twice. I felt that. I felt that. It felt good, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
the perfect antidote for real.
I wonder what like all the stuff you seeped up. I remember like the first time I ever was on a movie set. It was like get on the bus and it was Ozzie Davis and Bernie Mac and
Wow.
Wendell Pierce and all these great people that I got along with Spike Lee that I got to and Hill Harper. I got to soak up this experience of being with them. And I look at your set with James Earl Jones and Amos and Wesley Snipes and Tracy Morgan and all and Leslie Jones, all these great uh peers and mentors probably in your career.
Yeah.
Like how did it feel to just be in that space with them and like and soak up that experience with them? Like how was that?
Dude, let's talk about John Amos real quick. I met John Amos at the hotel. I was more nervous to meet Amos than I was Eddie. You know,
Mm,
John, that's like America's dad to me right there, man. And so I met him. We had dinner, and I just got to pick his brain about everything that led up to Good Times, and you know uh, what he's up to now, and you know uh, his thoughts on the sequel, everything. And so the more I got to talk to him, the more I got to appreciate him. This dude, he did stand up um, at a Cafe Wa in Greenwich Village, New York, and that's how we got noticed to do Good Times. And he told me that, and I was like, dude, that's crazy. And the parallels, because same with me, like I did stand up, and that got me noticed, and I got the opportunity to do a couple multicam sitcoms on network TV, and I'm like, man, that's you open that door. You know what I mean? You open that door
yeah,
for me. I appreciate that. And we were also appreciative of each other for everything we individually have done in our careers. And it's led us to the sequel. I think we were all there for a collective reason, and that was just to make a great movie. And not only a great movie that can stand alone from the original and be a perfect extension of the original. And so with that, like in the back of our minds, we got to work. and we were extremely supportive of each other. And it was jokes nonstop on that damn set, nonstop with Tracy, with Leslie, and with Tracy. Like I watched Tracy since Martin, and like the Uptown Comedy Club roast battles with Monique. Man, like you know what I'm saying, like dude.
Yeah.
It's just history and layers, like that from James Earl Jones to Kiki Lane, like it's just generations of talent.
Yeah.
And I think there was a mutual appreciation for everybody. Wesley Snipes, come on, just it's a once in a lifetime cast, and we all knew that, but we were all there to make this movie great. So I think we were all soaking up each other, like we were all in awe of each other, and just so grateful to be around each other. So that's what I appreciated the most about being there.
You know, it's been a lot of talk about Eddie potentially returning to stand up and doing some stand up. And I wonder, as somebody that's done stand up, like, do you think you get to a point in your career where you've left this, it's so hard to come back? Like, how is that transition as a actor and everything, and having those roots in stand up? Do you always have an itch, or do you get to a point where it's like a ex-basketball player trying to dunk again or something, and you feel like you can't? Like, how is that process for
I'll make two analogies real quick. Well, one, I was talking to Eddie about the stand-up stuff, and he told me he never left. You don't leave stand-up, take a break, you know? Honestly, when you do stand-up, you should only be up there talking about stuff you truly care about, you know what I mean? You know, and sometimes you got nothing to talk about. Why go up, you know? I think Eddie was at such a point in his career where he was so huge that maybe it got difficult when people would probably like, yell out, requests, you know what I mean? Like, do this, do that. And at some point, how can you really work on your material when work on it when you're that huge, you know? And Eddie's been huge since he was 19. Think about that, you know? It never leaves you. I don't think it ever leaves you. I think about, there was this quote that Michael Jordan had, and I equate Michael Jordan and Eddie Murphy, like they're the same, man. And Mike said, somebody asked Mike, hey, do you think the Bulls 90 squad, how do you think they would fare with this new generation? I think Jordan said, I would beat them. I think our generation would beat them by like 3 or 4 points. And then the interviewer goes, well, why such a small gap? And Jordan goes, well, a lot of the dudes that I played with back in the day are like in their 60s now. Jordan said, it don't matter, the layoff or the amount of time it's been, don't matter. I still got it, and I'll still crush you. Eddie's my idol, like, and we both had this appreciation for Richard Pryor. I love Richard Pryor. He's my favorite comedian next to Eddie. I think Richard Pryor live in concert is the greatest stand-up special of all time. But Eddie Murphy Raw got me into stand-up, and it made me want to be an actor, that came from stand-up. But Richard did it till he died. Richard did it till he had MS, was still killing it, talking about his body functions and all that stuff. That's what I aspire to do. No matter what, you can take a break. Life can hit you in a certain way, whatever. Who cares? I'll still be back on that stage, but I'll do it on my own terms. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's beautiful that Eddie's coming back on his own terms. I can't wait to see what he comes up with. I can't wait to see how what he's going to talk about. There's been so much time between Raw and this new stuff. Like, who knows? I think it's going to be amazing. But if you watch the SNL, like him hosting SNL, the dude hasn't lost a step. In fact, I think he's funnier. I think you get funnier with age. I think you get smarter. You get funnier. You get more perspective. You get a better POV. He's got 9 kids. Like, the dude's just different, and he's grown. That's the Eddie I want to see.
Yeah. Well, everybody's going to want to see this film, man. It was definitely funny. I felt the love story and all these other elements that reminds me of, the way I always feel about Coming to America 1. So I'm glad it's a new thing. I'm glad it's very new and separate in some way. But I'm glad it's still like really paying homage to some of the people like Maj Sinclair that's not here, and to have, James Earl Jones on film again and see like one of our great people. I just feel like you're so lucky. Not because you didn't earn it. It just feels like I just look at it like, dang, you had this experience that none of all of us gonna live it on the screen, but just to be there physically, man, I'm happy for you and where your career is going from here. So keep on doing your thing, man, and we'll keep on rooting for you and watching anything you on screen or on stage.
I appreciate that, brother. It means a lot, dude, coming from me. It means a lot. Thank you so much. I'm gonna keep making y'all proud. I'm keep working.